This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I am once again trimulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle and Kick. So I might get 2 viewers on Kick, I don't know. But anyway, folks, we got a lot of stuff going on. Viktor Orban lost. And as you'll see, Elon Musk said George Soros won. So we're gonna cogitate on that. Swalwell has stepped aside. And we have a big power shift coming. A reset? I don't know. But it's time for Donald J. Trump to flex some muscle. He's given him every chance in the book. But what do? I play videos while people come in and get themselves a cold brouhaha, a cup of coffee, or an adult beverage, or anything that is your want. And then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
About us charging folks.
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
Let me cut my mic off and play some videos, and then we'll be like butter and get on the roll.
Tony Fauci still does speaking engagements.
And gets paid a fortune.
And is celebrated for how he responded to a virus we know he was involved in.
How does that even happen?
How that makes sense to anybody. You can, I want to ask the people that see him as a hero. You do recognize all of science has now got him attached to gain of function research.
Yes.
Rand Paul's all over him. We have the emails. We have him trying to cover it up. We have his staff saying it looks like it came from the Wuhan lab. Oh, that could be a problem. And then that same staff a week later puts out an article. It's impossible for it to have come from that lab. Natural origin is the only explanation. Whoa, wait a minute. You just took scientists that said, I believe it came from that lab, then sign a paper and write a paper that says the exact opposite within 7 days. And Tony Fauci is the one overseeing all that. I think this guy's in trouble.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
ABC and Robach released statements today, essentially saying that the story wasn't ready for air. She said that, and they said that as well, not fully vetted. ABC has still not run all these years later, and he's dead now.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Well, think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined. Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies. Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all are doing well. Let me see who came to see me tonight. Ha ha ha. Hello to my lurkers. Ha ha. Hello, Todd's here. Cole's here. Ha ha. Sherry's here. Nice to see you. Thank you, Younger Gang, for going by. Buy me a coffee earlier in the week. Hi, Miss Mendersu. Nice to see you. And Wayne, stop by, buy me a coffee today. As a matter of fact, I do appreciate it. Along this week with Mike and Bev. Hi, and Colette. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Sissy's here. Flannel Cheese, Randy, Angela. Nice to see you. All right. And everybody on Rumble, I appreciate you all showing up. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And if you're not following me, the follow button. I got Sherry. Let me see. I'm making sure I didn't lose anybody. Yes, Wayne gives me a thumbs up. Everybody give me a thumbs up. Even if it's after the live broadcast. It helps the video to get around. Right, Randy? I know. I'm checking to see. I'll have to go make sure everybody I can see who gave me thumbs ups. I can. If I ever figure out YouTube Studio, I can find that out. So, Tammy's here. Miss Bender Sue's putting booms in. Yeah, I got to get my boom fired up. But anyway, what a big move by Donald J. Trump. And, of course, he was on Maria Bartiromo's program, and it was a good Sunday program. I listened to pretty much the whole thing, and we're going to go over that. Viktor Orban lost. He conceded very early. The votes were lopsided. Elon put out a couple of tweets that I thought were prescient. Why I picked the video with Dr. Fauci was because he put up something about the pokedoke that we all were they tried to muscle us all into taking, which I didn't take. But anyway, and he also put up a lot of stuff about what people are doing to our young ones, things like that. So I'll show them to you. And Eric Swalwell has suspended his campaign. Oh, videos are coming out about him. He looks like he's having a criminal investigation against him. What could it be? You know, they say the usual stuff. Remember when Chuck Schumer was with Heidi Fleiss? And that was supposed to be a big deal. It didn't amount to a pinch of owl poop. You know, they just let it die on the vine. And, well, I don't think this stuff's going to go away this time. And let's see. Oh, I got some stuff on Wes Moore. Some of these whistleblowers. Here you go with Eric Swalwell. Look here. Here's with somebody. Campaign 2022. Lofton for state representative Let's get started. What is that he's standing next to? It says Swalwell is trash. Lives a TikTok. New Hampshire's first transgender elected representative, Stacey Lochtan, pleaded guilty to child exploitation charges. He reportedly asked his partner, who worked in a daycare center, to send him NOOD nude photos of little kids. Swalwell campaigned with him. Swalwell is trash. There you go. What kind of degenerate mind? Well, it's those who are influenced by the big club, the Luciferians, the Moloch worshippers, whatever you want to call them. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Oh, here's another. This came out about 10 minutes before I set my studio up. Another dose of due process in a known drug route. They said in the East Pacific. Oh, okay. They got 2 vessels. One they said had 5 on board. I forget what the other one had. But they had one purported survivor, and they're doing a rescue operation, or they were doing a rescue operation. So, yeah, there's still people doing that, attempting to do that. So anyway, I don't know what we'll talk about first. Hi, Cynthia. Nice to see you. Let's see. Kim's here. Did I miss anybody? KNS Cleanup. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. All right. I don't think I missed anybody. If I did, I apologize. So, anyway, this loss by Viktor Orban, he conceded very early. And it was something like, 60% was underwater, were against him. I got this 7 minutes after CNN posted it. You see that up there. Prime Minister and Trump ally Viktor Orban, parliamentary election ending 16 years of power for right-wing nationalists. And Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban concedes election defeat after 16 years in power. So, don't you know, we have the usual lunatics from Midas Trash Pail Network. This guy, Cakers, he's from the UK, okay? Congratulations, Hungary. You are now a free country, no longer under Russian control, with a supermajority for the winning party as well. Now, Bulgaria has elections coming this week, and there are plenty of pro-Russian candidates there, so let's hope they do their best to prevent any of them from winning. Also, America, take this as a sign. You need to find a strong candidate right now. You need to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, stick your rear end up in the air and pray toward Mecca, okay? That's what you need to worry about over there in the UK. Who's this one? Sweden. So this Midas Trash community, so many of their posts are from people overseas. And they're bragging, we're coming up on 1 million subscribers. You got people like Mark Dice, I've showed you. They had him frozen at 1.9 million for about a year. So yeah, 1 million is a lot, but they are farming overseas. So here's some character from Sweden. We can't have better news right now than Viktor Orban has conceded defeat in the election. Are you out of your minds? And, I thought, oh boy, if they cheat, that this would be the moment. Cakers again. Orban is screwed. Yay! There isn't a candidate besides Donald Trump that wants to put a stop to the terrorism being exported by Iran. There is a candidate who's ever brought up stopping the transitioning of children, the stopping the unimpeded flow of millions of people into our country that want to take advantage, that do take advantage of. There isn't anybody else on the map. Why are these people so bent on supporting the destruction of our country while their country's being destroyed? It's unreal. And I was thinking, was there such a big groundswell against Orban? Did it boil down to give me liberty or give me a widescreen TV? Because that's kind of hard to beat. Turns out Orban is withholding money from the EU to go to Ukraine. But from what I gather, if the money's approved to go to Ukraine, that the EU has a piggy bank set up to reward Hungary. I heard the opposition person, I guess who's the winner now, say, we're going to take the money from the EU to better the lives of everyone in Hungary. So the EU basically bribes other members using how they see fit money from all the members. So they're just like our mafia system here. They beat you over your head with your own money. Your own money. So, it's, very disappointing. Very disappointing, but we'll see what comes out of it. We'll see what comes out of it. Kim, how you doing? Yeah, Europe is a total mess. Darla, nice to see you. Sweet Daydreams, nice to see you, sweetness. Ha. Who else came? Who snuck in here? Let's see. So we get any newbies, we'll be so cool. We got change for an ice cube. Here's how many people wanted Eric Swalwell to get out. Now, is he going to leave the House? I heard there was like up to 4 members, Democrat House members, that may be in the same situation as Eric Swalwell.
United because remember, this all goes back to, and here's the list. You would think that screen would be just overwhelmed with every Democrat leader of any stature, particularly the entire delegation of California Democrats demanding accountability. Because remember, if you go back to the height of the Me Too movement, there was a tweet that isn't aging well from then Congressman Eric Swalwell. In 2018, he put this up there, a simple message: support survivors, believe survivors, we are with you. Turns out now, not 1, not 2, not 3, multiple women are coming forward with the behavior that he allegedly did, from rape to unsolicited photos.
Well, one of the things he's in trouble for, let me see if I can't pull it up. If I can pull it up, fine. But is he brought a nanny over here? Get it? Air quotes nanny from I think Brazil. And here he's doing the interview right here. And turns out she probably didn't have, she had no business being in the country. And you know what is this going to constitute? Not just violating immigration laws, but S3X trafficking? Huh? What happens to people, according to Trump's executive order, if they get those kind of human rights abuses? They get all their assets seized. Isn't that right? So, oh man, people are sweating bullets over this. How many people are going to get dragged into this? How many people are going to get dragged into it? Here's another picture of the dope right here. King of the dopes. Manhattan DA launches investigation into S3 sexual assault allegation against Eric Swalwell. So we're talking about immigration, federal violations of that, plus other victims that are claiming the R word as an ape. And then we're dealing with, I think we're going to be looking at human trafficking charges. Okay? Remember, who was it? Kyle Rittenhouse. He took his gun over state lines. Well, what is it when you bring a tutu over international lines to come in the country? Huh? So, Swalwell. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office said on Saturday it's investigating allegations S3 sexual assault against Swalwell a day after CNN reported what everybody reported. That's when I knew he's done. When Politico reported it over and over again, a former staffer for the congressman accused him of having S3X with her when she was unable to consent. He denied allegations in a statement to CNN in the video. Yeah, I don't have that video. I'm going to play that crap. You row your own boat. You row your own boat, creepo. Where's that statement he put out? It's way up here. Wait a minute. Eric. His parents own a company that ship to China. Huh? They make millions dealing with China. I'm suspending my campaign for governor. Oh, somebody moved a coffee cup. To my family, staff, friends, and supporters, I am deeply sorry for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made, but it's my fight, not a campaign's. So that's from Fartbox Swalwell. He's out. Who are they going to get? I mean, they can't even get a decent candidate for governor of California, much less for the president. So Babylon B put this up because Kamala sobered up enough to kind of talk at, no justice, some kind of action network or some crap. Kamala Harris thinking about losing again in 2028. She announced she's thinking about losing again in 2028. They don't have anybody. Pete Buttigieg, booty butt. So anyway, yeah, we're in the process of crippling their party infrastructure. I didn't get a chance to watch this yet, but it's just a matter of time. You all remember Wes Moore? That is who George Clooney. Remember I put those pictures up of George Clooney and Frankenstein? Anyway, I played a video where he's saying, Wes Moore, I think that's the one we got to look at. That was what, 6 months ago, 5 months ago? I forget. And here he is, Wes Moore exposed, big problem. Paralegal Institute of Washington, D.C. He's one you want to watch. His entire past is fake and manufactured. What are we going to find out about him? So, yeah. But hey, these degenerates on the left, the degenerate wing, they don't care who it is or what they've done. They really don't. They've got the morals of an oyster. Holy cow. Here's Viktor Orban's concession speech. Let me get back to Viktor Orban. You know, Trump got the inside scoop from Ratcliffe, the CIA. Told him that he was way down in the polls. But Trump still put out a strong endorsement 48 hours or 24 hours before the election because he's loyal. Okay? And he'll tell it like it is and what he really believes. But I know that Trump knew there was a uphill battle. But, you know, is there something going to come out of this? All right? Because, like I said, Elon Musk tweeted out a response with the name Soros in it. I'll dig it out of the file here and put it up. But anyway, here's Orban's concession speech.
A választási eredmény, bár még nem teljes, de érthető és világos, a választási eredmény számunkra fájdalmas, de egyértelmű, a kormányzás felelősségét és lehetőségét nem nekünk adták. A győztes pártnak gratuláltam. Nektek, önöknek köszönöm a rengeteg munkát.
So no intimation of any problem other than a loss. We'll see what comes of it. Apparently, you know, I don't believe they have mail-in voting and stuff like that. You know, I don't think they do. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. But Trump was in pretty good humor today because he posted this picture. He said, "This is Bruce Springsteen before his plastic surgery." And is that an AI picture? Or I don't believe Trump would put that up. Trump said, "What happened to Bruce Springsteen?" You know, as many pictures as they put up with Trump where they change his skin tone and do all kinds of stuff. But I believe that's an actual photograph before they ironed his face and did something with his hairline or whatever they did. But anyway, Trump didn't seem to be too perturbed. Let me see what this clip is here. I've got so many clips. There's so many things happening. Oh, yeah, don't forget, we still got Cuba on the burner. Cuban dictator Diaz-Canel. I'm willing to give my life for the revolution. The revolution. They got one tanker full of oil, and it wasn't for Trump, they wouldn't have got that. Now they're all pumped up again. But hey, it's just a matter of time, coming a lot closer than people think.
Fighting, and there'll be a struggle, and we'll defend ourselves. And if we need to die, we'll die, because as our national anthem says, dying for the homeland is to live.
What you're saying is very powerful. But are you afraid for yourself, for your family? Or are you prepared to, as you say, make the ultimate sacrifice if you are attacked?
I have no fear. I am willing to give my life for the revolution.
Is that Kristen Welker? Here she is talking to the leader of a military junta that took over a country by force 90 miles off our shores, that works hand in glove with Russia and in the past the USSR, China, putting nuclear missiles right off our shoreline, oppress their people, political prisoners, communist society where people are living in abject poverty. And she said, Are you worried if you're attacked? He should be like Maduro, in handcuffs in jail. Okay? Or what kind of sacrifices are you willing to make? Well, buddy, you're going to make them, okay? You're either going to work with Trump or you can make those sacrifices. But anyway, so let's see. Let's play some Trump with Maria Bartiromo. Let me see. I'll try this one first. Let's try this one here. I played a funny little clip at the beginning. I'll play later on for those who came in late. But anyway, here's Trump on the phone with Maria Bartiromo.
Sad though when the press says they're fighting bravely. They're not fighting bravely. They have no anti-aircraft. We fly over there at will, can take out anything we want. As you know, last week I said we're going to strongly consider knocking out their power plants and the rest of their bridges. We took down their big bridge, but we just did that because we were having good discussions, and they go to the press. They're very good with public relations, much better with public relations than they are at fighting. They go to the press, and they say, President Trump said it's okay for us to have a nuclear weapon, when I never even spoke to him. And by the way, that would be the only thing I would never say to them. And they know that.
Right.
And then the New York Times, which is a fake paper. It's just a fake. You just believe the opposite. It's so sad when you look at CNN, the New York Times, ABC fake news, NBC fake news. When you look at this stuff, it's so sad to see it. I mean, they report things that they know are false. It's almost treasonous, actually, if you want to really know the truth. It's almost treasonous. But if you're reading the New York Times exclusively and their circulation, by the way, is way down. Yeah. It's way down. I'm proud to report that. But if you're reading the New York Times exclusively, you would say that they are doing great in the war.
Mr. President,
they're doing terribly.
That's exactly right. They're misrepresenting the entire conflict. And you see these lefty sites, all these people in comments. Oh, Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, he stepped in now. It's one of the most spectacular dominations militarily of a nation in world history. And you heard him say he qualified it saying it's almost treasonous. Hi, Pappy Two Bears, how are you? Almost. Well, I don't know about that almost part. But anyway, here we go again. Let's see what else we got here. I'll talk about that diagram on my thumbnail in a minute. I don't know if you all can read it good enough or not.
This morning is saying that we will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. And at some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in and all being allowed to go out basis. Right. So tell us what you're trying to accomplish with this blockade,
all in,
sir.
All out. Yep. It's called all in and all out. There'll be a time when we'll have them all come in and all come out, but it won't be a percentage. It won't be a friend of yours like a country that's your ally or a country that's your friend. Is all or nothing, and that won't be in too long a distance. No, we're just bringing the ships up. We got a lot of ships, so we're bringing them up. We think that numerous countries are going to be helping us with this also, but we're putting on a complete blockade. We're not going to let Iran make money on selling oil to people that they like and not people that they don't like or whatever it is. It's going to be all or none, and that's the way it is. And it'll be, you saw what we did with Venezuela. It'll be something very similar to that, but at a higher level.
And Mr. President, you say that there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them, and this is world.
Yeah, she started getting into the mines. We'll talk about that. But what he's talking about, they say that China has been giving Iran like $78 billion a year. And avoiding the sanctions that everybody's jumping up and down about wanting to have. Same with the Russian sanctions. And Angela Merkel cutting a deal with Russia for their oil when they're supposed to be sanctioning Russia. But no, they put the pressure on Trump to do it, but then they go behind our backs and violate them. So what you see, what Trump is talking about is international waterways, the high seas, freedom to transit the high seas, the laws of the high seas. They have no right to do anything of that nature. Now, they have opened the door for us to do it because they've used mines indiscriminately in violation of, what do they always holler about? International law, with their cluster bombs, indiscriminate bombing of civilians nobody says anything about. Then they put sabotage, international waterways. I was going to put that in my thumbnail. Sabotage, piracy, extortion. It's all internationally recognized criminal acts. But does the media point that out? No. But we can do like-kind retribution. We can take actions to stop a rogue nation that is interfering with commerce. And yeah, that's what Trump's going to do. But is that put to these lefty TDS lunatics in the manner that I just plump and plainly laid out there? Of course not. They pull crap like this. Let me find this. I'm going to interrupt my video presentations for a minute. Look at this. CNN puts this out. A misleading title. And, you know, I don't know about you, but this Fareed dude, okay, what's he doing on American airwaves, supposed to be informing the public? Fareed, who are you? Look at the title. Can Trump profit from Hormuz by charging admission? Okay, what are you going to say, Fareed? That you use different syntax? You use different vernacular because we have to be culturally aware of the language differences? Is that what you're going to say? Because what this headline is a lie. It's misleading. Trump will not profit. Okay? That's an insinuation that Trump is doing something criminal for personal gain. But, oh, no, it's Fareed. I didn't mean it that way because I'm not from the country. But I'm going to tell the American people about the news of the international news. You shouldn't be on those late-night Wappa Choppa sales videos, much less delivering the news. Trump profit. Is America going to generate income, revenue for their efforts to submit, to subdue a violent and dangerous regime? Charging admission. Nobody's charging admission. If you want to go through there, we're ensuring safety, okay? And we're ensuring there isn't extortion and bribery and people violating internationally recognized sanctions, okay? And we're expending our treasure and time and putting our lives at risk to do it. Fareed. But you see how they mislead people? And you can bet your backside that the comments are full. Trump is a criminal. Trump wants to profit. Trump can't do that in international water. Then they'll bring up international water. They won't mention the fact that Iran told Vance, well, we have mines. We don't even know where they are. We just dumped them overboard. Sabotaging international waterways. Who is the person that authorized that? Who's the person that conducted that operation? They're criminals. There should be warrants out for their arrest. But no, CNN puts their makes their dopey little headline that way, right? Let's see. This is some Ruski News put up about the Arab. What did they put out? Holding up a AK-47 or whatever they got. The IRGC said the Strait of Hormuz remains open to non-military vessels under specific regulations. They have no right to regulate international waterways, but stresses that all transit is subject to Iranian control. It warned that any military vessels attempting to approach or enter the strait under any pretext would be treated as a violation of the ceasefire and met with a firm and decisive response. Remember that. Hi, Fish. How you doing? Jerry, nice to see you. Who else got in here? Let's see. All right. Yeah, he's a freaky looking thing, isn't he? So anyway, then they put out this picture of apparently they have some combat jets that have survived. Apparently they can fold the wings up and push them inside these concrete bunkers. They got a guy, they blurred his face out. A soldier from Iran's 65th Airborne Special Forces Brigade is seen posing in front of Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force F-4D Phantom II during the final days of the war. Final days? Inside one of the Air Force's hardened shelters following a combat mission at an undisclosed location. Yeah, well, how much you want to bet that thing will be gone in a couple of weeks or days or hours? The more you put out, the more we learn. So anyway, let me get back to Donald J. Trump. Let's see. This has a different time stamp on it. Let me see if I might have the same conversation twice. I'm not sure. They said 20% of the world's oil and LNG passes through Hormuz. Well, I don't know about the LNG, but the oil they've gotten down to about 4%. 15 million barrels a day is down because the Saudis have opened up a 7 million barrel a day pipeline. And Oman has another pipeline that's open at something like 3.5 million. So they're down to about 4%. And if you factor in the increased production and efficiency in Venezuela, nobody's got a shortage except who? China. That's who. But anyway, let's see if this is a hopefully not a repeat.
Doing well at all. They're getting killed. I could take out Iran in one day. I could take down in 1 hour. I could have their entire energy, everything, every one of their plants, their electric generating plants, which is a big deal. And I hate to do it because if I do it, it takes you 10 years to rebuild. They'll never be able to rebuild it. And the other thing you take out are the bridges. I took out one just to show them because they went public with a statement that wasn't true. They admitted it. I say, I'm going to take out a bridge. And I took out a bridge. And that was the end of that. Now they've been really behaving quite well. But in 1/2 of a day, they wouldn't have one bridge standing. They wouldn't have one electric generating plant standing. And they're back in the Stone Ages. I'd rather not do that. But I do believe they're going to come to the table on this because nobody can be so stupid as to say that we want to have nuclear weapons and they have no cards. They have no cards whatsoever.
No cards. Yeah, he could take it out at the snap of a finger. But yeah, you don't want to cause more damage than necessary to have them subdued. So here we have another clip. Speaking of China, yeah, those are old jets, Fish, yeah. But they're still lethal. They're still lethal. You could take a World War I soft whiff Camel and going against an oil tanker and you'd be lethal. in a biplane from World War I. But anyway, but they'll get it. They'll get it. It's just a matter of time. But anyway, here we go. Another clip.
Jay, that any country that supports Iran and sends military equipment to Iran will face a 50% tariff if they try to bring products. Did you refer to China? Did you mean China?
Yes, and other people, but yes, China too.
Okay.
If we find that China, because I hear news reports, so a news report doesn't mean much to me because they're so fake, but I hear news reports about China giving the shoulder missiles, what's called a shoulder missile, anti-aircraft missile. I doubt they would do that because I have a relationship and I think they wouldn't do that, but maybe they did a little bit at the beginning, but I don't think they would anymore. No. But if we catch them doing that, they get a 50% tariff, which is that's a staggering amount.
And did you want to say anything about our NATO allies in terms of?
Well, I don't know which clip it is, but the UK, Trump mentioned that we're going to get help from the UK and other. Well, the UK announced, Keir Starmer, that they're not going to participate, and then Australia jumped in on the bandwagon. So yeah, we're not going to forget that. We're not going to forget that, boys. So anyway, let's see. Trump posted. Before I play more clips from his interview, I want to put up some stuff he posted. Let's see. I wonder when Europe is going to take the president's sensible advice. Donald Trump reposted this today. And this is from his UN speech. And is this from the speech while Nancy Pelosi was marching like in a funeral, a New Orleans funeral procession to deliver the impeachment or another UN speech? But anyway.
I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax made up by people with evil intentions, and they're heading down a path of total destruction.
Yeah. Total destruction. And Ireland is going through upheaval. I mean, upheaval. They're calling the military out in Ireland. Did you know Ireland only has 5 million people as their population? But they have got protests in every hamlet, every town, inevitable arrest, put up massive numbers of Irish patriots out in the street today to oppose the communist government. Please pray for Ireland. It may be too late for Ireland, okay? They brought in the equivalent of 1/3 of the population from third world countries and crammed them into Ireland. And it's destroying the culture, destroying Ireland as Ireland. And they're talking about using facial recognition and doing another J and then 6. Be careful putting that in the chats. Operation against their own people. Exaggerated charges. Novel charges. Arrest and detain without trial for months or years like they did to the J and then the 6 people. They're going to do it to Ireland. The Soros machine is destroying nations as we speak. All part of their plan. And what they wanted to do was have a similar set up with the EU in our hemisphere, where our wealth gets redistributed by some committee, like the EU committee decides. The most productive country in the EU is Germany, as usual, the most industrious, conscientious, hardworking people. And their standard of living is lower than the second lowest state in America. They are at par or just above Mississippi with income because the EU sucks up so much of it. And now you see how they win elections by saying, you vote to send money to Ukraine and we'll give you money, hungry. And so if you want your widescreen TV, get rid of Viktor Orban and put our man in. That's how it works. They use your own money. So anyway, let's see if I got more clips from Maria's show. Let me see. Let's see here. Oh, I think I do. Let's see. Well, here's a clip of Trump standing outside. This is at the end, I believe, in this clip. He says if China is giving Iran weapons, they're going to have big problems. They're going to have big problems. Hey, it's getting down to crunch time. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, CENTCOM put out a notice that the Straits would be shut down, subject to approval of the U.S. military to transit. If they are not in violation of international law, they can go through. But if they're breaking the law or participating in these illegal acts, then they're going to have problems. And that's going to include China. Okay? I don't know why Russia would need it. Maybe, they don't need any oil. If they got plenty of their own. But it's going to get down to a showdown. Watch.
They've dropped a couple of water mines. You call them water mines in the boat. We've defeated all of their water boats, too. Their Navy has gone 158 ships. They have 28 water droppers, mine droppers, they call them. All of them are sunk. They probably have a couple of mines in the water. We have mine sweepers out there. We're sweeping the Strait. In addition to that, we're negotiating whether we make a deal or not. Makes no difference to me. And the reason is because we've won. Whether you listen to the fake news or not, it's amazing. Their credibility is down to 13%. The media credibility down to 13%. Think of it. We defeated their Navy. We defeated their Air Force. We defeated their anti-aircraft. We defeated their radar. We defeated their leaders. Their leaders are all dead. And now all we do is we'll open up the Strait, even though we don't use it, because we have a lot of other countries in the world that do use it that are either afraid or weak or cheap. I don't know what it is, but we were not helped by NATO, that I can tell you. How do you know that? Why do you say that? Why do you say that? You don't know anything. Who are you with?
NBC News, Julie Circuit.
ABC?
NBC.
Well, let's make news.
Mr. President.
Let me just tell you, we win, no matter what. We defeated their military. They have no Navy. 158 ships are underwater, undersea. All of their mine sweepers and all of their, they call them mine droppers. Can you imagine? A country has 28 mine droppers. You think that's nice? With all of that being said, they're all defeated, by the way. They're all at the bottom of the sea. Now, with all of that, they have no Navy. They have no radar. They have no Air Force. Their leaders are all dead. Khomeini is gone. For many years, he ruled. He's gone. With all of that, let's see what happens. But from my standpoint, I don't care. Thank you. Well, if China does that, China's going to have big problems, okay?
Mr. President, is Netanyahu?
Yeah, I got a transcript of the question that girl asked. I'm going to try to get to it. Where's that? Let's see. Man, Trump put out some long tweets, but they're pretty much being covered by Maria. She's putting them out there. Here's another clip from her. That reporter asked him a question, kind of made him mad. I'll find that transcript of it and read it to you. But anyway, let me see if we played this one yet or not.
Now we have highly sophisticated underwater minesweepers, which are the latest and the greatest, but we're also bringing in more traditional minesweepers. And so I understand is the UK and a couple of other countries are sending minesweepers. A lot of countries don't have minesweepers. Think of it. They had 28 mine droppers. What country has 28 mine droppers? 28 boats to drop mines. What country? They've been completely obliterated. They no longer. So we knocked out their entire Navy. They have 158 ships. They have 28 mine droppers. Every single one of them is at the bottom of the sea. Can you believe it? We did that in 4 days. Their Air Force is gone. Their if you look, anti-aircraft. All of their radars out. Anti-aircraft is their defensive program is all knocked out. They don't have anything. And you know the sad part is, and I can't say this is for you, we knocked out everything, including their leaders. Their military is gone. Everything's gone. Their missiles are down to a trickle by comparison.
Yeah, there was a confrontation, and it's almost comical. I'll play it for you in a minute. I want to see what this clip is here. I hate these black screen clips. I can't tell what's coming up. But yeah, at some point, somebody's going to talk about the criminality of them, what they're doing in the Strait of Hormuz. Trump is responding to criminal acts. Okay, let me see if we played this one yet or not.
I've had to listen to them say, death to America, right? They say, death to America, death to Israel, America, the Satan, we will destroy America, death to America. Now, does anybody...
Now, that's when Maria Bartiromo brought up, well, people are going crazy because you said you were going to destroy a civilization. And this is his response. What have they been saying about us for almost damn 50 freaking years? And they've killed thousands of Americans. Thank you very much.
Anybody ever complain to you when they say that? I think that's a big step worse. Death to America. So they're allowed to say death to America. And what I'm referring to is, when I talk about civilization, it'll be much different because their military will be totally gone. It's pretty much gone now. But their military, look at their leadership. We have had regime change because the people we dealt with yesterday were, frankly, very smart, very sharp, very good, very good. I think they were smarter than the people from before, Khomeini and that group. Because look what it got them. Look what all of their antics were spending they spent all their money on weapons. We've destroyed most of those weapons. Mm-hmm. But, you know, when I say about a civilization, it really has changed. It really has. But think of it. They're allowed to say death to America, death to this, death to... And I make one statement, they say, oh, such a big deal. Let me tell you, that statement got them to the bargaining table, and they haven't left. They haven't left the bargaining table. I predict they come back and they give us everything we want. And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. I don't want 95%. I told them, I want everything.
Well, and what they
have
want...
no cards, Maria.
Yep.
They have no cards. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone, totally gone. Mm-hmm. They have nothing. They have no ships. 158 ships are at the bottom of the sea. Good ones, new. The Soleimani, they had one called the Soleimani, was taken out by one of our tiger sharks, by one of our rapidly moving submarines. It's amazing. Our military is so good. Do you know our military is a 94% approval rating now? Well, Congress has a 14%. The media has a 12%. When I started, the media had a 92% approval rating. Now they're down to 14%.
Wow.
And I'm very proud of it because they're very dishonest.
Tiger sharks. New attack submarines. Did you hear that? Tiger sharks. But anyway, let me see what I put a link there for Buy Me a Coffee in the description. This is a totally viewer-supported channel. And I want to thank Mike and Bev and Younger Gang and Wayne and Colette for going by, buy me a coffee. I do appreciate it and helping out. Let me put some booms in. And I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up. Kapow! Kaboom! Remember to give me a thumbs up because it helps the video get around. I really appreciate it. Kaboom! Kaboom! Now, what I got on screen there is the two vessels we sent through, okay? The USS Frank E. Peterson and the USS Michael Murphy. Shows the normal shipping routes for the to go through the Strait. And then you see the red lines that's Iranian-enforced shipping routes. Just so you get an idea, Karg Island is off to the upper left. So maybe we don't have to take Karg Island. You know, we stay out of range of most of their stuff. And we just want to see some paperwork. We want to make sure you're not doing anything out of line when you come through, or you can sit here until you get it straightened out. Now, I noticed in the earlier, in the chats, Fish mentioned India, along with China, gets most of their oil. What are we going to do about India? India's going to play ball with Donald J. Trump. We have a flotilla of supertankers heading to the U.S. to fill up on light, sweet crude, which is a lot better than some of the tar they get from other nations. It's called light, sweet crude. Donald Trump's going to give them a very favorable deal. On what we're seeing is a shift in the balance of power. My last broadcast, I said, selling oil is a business. And Iran has been in a situation where they've had a dominant position. They've had a monopoly. Trump is breaking that monopoly. Okay? There's going to be a competitor. And customers aren't going to come to you and buy from you if they got to deal with extortion, if they got to deal with threats, if they got to deal with sabotage. If they can go somewhere safe and buy it, they would save more on insurance for the vessels. They would get a higher grade of oil, raw product, and it'll balance out. It'll balance. Plus, being in Trump's good graces, or whoever is a president of common sense in the future, you do much better to do business with Donald Trump. So, yeah, India's going to play ball with Trump, and so is Pakistan. I wonder if I get in trouble for this. I might have to mute the music on this. Somebody put this up. Strait of Hormuz told, well, let me see if I can mute the music. If I laugh through it. Here we go. What's the song they're playing? Let me see. Oh, man, I can't hit the mute button. It won't do nothing. There we go. They start playing Sit Right Back in Your Heel and Tail. I got to cut the mic back on. Whoa. I got to cut the mic back on, or my other videos will not play properly. But anyway, yeah, it shows the mullah sitting there collecting a toll. I got to get that mic cut back on. Wait a minute. There we go. That's for whatever. Let's see if I got it on. Just sit right back in There you go. Anyway, I didn't know if you all got a chance to see that or not. It's northwest of the Strait of Hormuz. My screen won't respond. What's going on here? Let me get that off the screen. I fool around with them buttons and stuff goes crazy. Yeah. Here. Where is it? What's this one? Oh, this is another view. A warning at I don't know about. But anyway, I had another map. But anyway, let's see what is this one? UK will not participate in the blockade of Hormuz. Okay. How do you think that's going to go over? You know, there's something else to play before I play this clip. Something else interesting at play here. Zelensky, when's he going home? Is he ever going to go home? Here he is. Zelensky, Britain must rejoin the EU if America leaves NATO. Now, remember what the people went through to get Brexit through? Well, they're just going to trash that because they've imported a bunch of new voters from God knows where into the UK. So what's to stop them from rejoining the EU? So their money can be diluted and handed out all over hell's half acre. Vladimir Zelensky urged Britain to rejoin the European Union to bolster the continent's defense against Russia. Russia. So anyway, let me play this chick.
Lucy, as I said, we heard what President Trump said, but the MOD has now contradicted that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, previously, both Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, and the Defence Secretary, John Healey, have said that there are mine-hunting systems in the region in the Middle East and that military planners have, for a few weeks now, been working on plans with other nations for viable ways of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. But ministers here have always made very clear that our involvement will only come when it is safe to do so. So, as you say, the Ministry of Defence contradicting any claims that we would get involved with a military blockade. The official statement coming from the Ministry of Defence this afternoon saying we continue to support freedom of navigation and the opening of the Strait, which is urgently needed to support the global economy and the cost of living back home, stressing again the Strait of Hormuz must not be subject to tolling. So to say, we understand that's them saying they won't be involved in any blockade, but like I said, we are aware that there are talks ongoing. There were last week, we've had them over the past few days as well, about how we restore the supply of oil and gas through the Strait of Hormuz, because of course it's having a huge impact on domestic costs, the cost of petrol at the pumps, and also potentially energy bills for people after the summer as well. It's worth looking back at comments that the Health Secretary Wes Streeting made on Sky News this morning as well, referring to Donald Trump and how his comments, whether he makes them on social media or whether in a phone interview with Fox News like we saw just a few hours ago, the impact that it has on decision makers here. Wes Streeting, in quite direct remarks to the US president, saying his language is often incendiary, provocative and outrageous, and that ministers have learned to draw a distinction between what the US president says online and what he actually does. And I imagine that very scenario is playing out right now. Donald Trump made these first remarks on social media, then in an interview, and now obviously officials are being forced to find responses to them. Wes Streeting was saying, I think we've all come to learn that you judge President Trump through what he does, not just what he says. In terms of political reaction to these calls from Donald Trump just a few hours ago, we've heard from the Liberal Democrat leader, Sir Ed Davey. He has said Keir Starmer should rule out the UK joining Donald Trump's latest escalation in this idiotic war, is what he calls it. And he goes on to say the UK should be working with other countries to get the US and Iran back to the negotiating table, not fanning the flames of war. Of course, ever since this conflict broke out, we've seen Keir Starmer stress time and time again that the UK is not involved in this war, that his priority is de-escalation and only getting involved in defensive action. The impact, of course, continues on the cost of living at home as long as this conflict continues, and the Chancellor saying just today that she has to be straight with people, that the war in Iran will come at a cost to British families and businesses.
Man, it took a lot for her to come out and say that Keir Starmer's a coward without saying he's a coward. And they didn't mention anything about them helping with minesweepers. I'm reading the chats there. They got plenty of minesweepers and everything else is junk. But are they even going to help with minesweepers? It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it. What's this one? Let's see. Blue states, exit tax to stop wealthy residents from fleeing. See? They want to beat you over your head with your own money, and if you try to leave, that's going to cost you. Talk about a European mindset. Is that even legal? Well, I guess whatever they say is legal is legal. That's the way things work. Whatever Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown on the phone says, yeah, sounds good to me, go ahead and do it.
Moving might solve your blue state high tax problem. It actually might not be as easy as you thought. At least 10 states are now floating the idea of an exit tax, not just taxing you to death while you live there, but they're going to tax you with a knife in your back when you leave, too. That is right. California, New York, Washington, and Michigan all looking for ways to hit high earners with a final bill
just for moving.
Look at them. Look at those states, all. What color do they a lot of times show up on the map? All these liberal states except for Pennsylvania, but all these commified states.
Moving out. Talk about letting the door hit you on the way out. I mean, this is worse than a divorce, Marcus. This is like the lover's leaving and
are we getting
you've got to
divorced?
pay.
Am I going to have to pay to leave you?
Oh, man. What do they do? Get an interstate warrant for your arrest? You left and you didn't pay the exit fee. But no, Trump can't do nothing about the Strait of Hormuz, but we can keep you from leaving our state. Let me just look through the chats here real quick. Data centers going up everywhere. President Trump behind it. Every time I comment on YouTube, it gets deleted. Well, when you put comments in all caps, YouTube will take it down because they say that is considered shouting at Cam. Cam, if your whole comment is all caps, YouTube automatically takes them down. Yeah, I had a story about data centers, and China's going to have them. China's going to be running high-speed artificial intelligence. Here, speaking of intelligence, U.S. intelligence indicates China is preparing to ship weapons to Iran. U.S. intelligence. Who leaked this? Who leaked this? This is from CNN. Here, it even made it to Russian news. Is this authorized? Or I mean, they don't say. Intelligence indicates China is preparing weapon shipment amid fragile ceasefire. They're preparing to send air defense systems to Iran amidst this weak ceasefire that exists. Yeah, data centers. I know people protest a pipeline. They protest, chicken farm, or I don't know, whatever. But what is wrong with a data center? I'm interested in that. Why we're seeing people on the I will say the media side against data centers. If you can answer that for me, Cam, let's see. The shouting comment says, Trump is behind it. Every time I comment this on YouTube, it gets deleted. Well, Trump said he wants our country to lead in AI. Data centers are going up everywhere. President Trump is behind it. Well, are you still there, or are you a bot? Are you a bot? What's the problem with not falling behind in AI? Here's the comment from Elon Musk I was telling you all about. Alex Soros. The people of Hungary have taken back their country. A resounding rejection of entrenched corruption and foreign interference. A resounding rejection of entrenched corruption and foreign interference. Coming from a Soros. And Elon Musk put in there, Soros organization has taken over Hungary. If I'm not mistaken, Hungary barred Soros from coming into the country. Am I not correct? Now I guess he's got himself entry back into the country. They were going to arrest him. Let's see what this is. FARS news agency reports that a Republican Guard Navy issued a warning to the U.S. Navy Arleigh Burke-class Aegis-guided missile destroyer. Somebody was putting in there that these were derelict ships, that Trump was sending old derelict ships. Man, they are working round the clock to discredit this military action. But anyway, USS Michael Murphy, as it moved from Fujairah or in the UAE toward the Strait of Hormuz. According to the report, Iran conveyed through a Pakistani intermediary that the vessel would be targeted within 30 minutes if it continued its transit. Well, where's that video? I got it. Y'all probably heard it, but it's worth listening to again. Where they're like, turn around or we will blow you up if you don't turn around. Let me see if this is it. I'm not sure. What is this one?
Navy warship.
Oh, yeah. Navy warship. You must turn around or we will blow you up. And they just ignore them. Well, no, they did one better than that. They had a female officer respond to them. And you know how they are about women telling them what to do.
One, this is Sepang Navy Station. You must alter course and go back to the Indian Ocean immediately. If you don't obey my order, you will be targeted. Out.
This is Coalition Warship 121, engaged in transit passage in accordance with international law. No challenge is attended to you.
U.S. Navy warship transiting in the vicinity of Fujairah Port and Oman Sea. This is Sepang Navy. This is Sepang Navy. Last warning, last warning, last warning.
Close to High Island Port.
Attention all vessels, attention all vessels, attention all vessels in Oman Sea. This is Iranian Sepang Navy. If you see any warship in your vicinity, keep a distance more than 10 miles from them because I'm ready to open fire on them without any warning.
Needless to say, they didn't open fire on anybody. As a matter of fact, this is what they did. They rushed. They took this little dinky boat that hadn't been blown up yet and charged at the boat. Yeah, they must be believing in that 72 Virgin business as close as they cut it, because they were close to getting. Remember, the USS Cole was rammed by a boat like that, and they were probably at the last second. Now, I want to ask you a question, Cynthia. Data centers have been found to disrupt the natural ecosystem. Has it been reported or has it been found? Cynthia, think about it now. Trump has gotten on the windmills for disorienting whales and whales being beached, and windmills for smacking eagles and other birds out of the sky, killing them by the thousands. Birds flying over solar panels that fry in midair from the heat. That's disrupting the ecosystem. Is it reported or has it been found that data centers are disrupting? Because if they had any empirical proof, they would put it out there to get people up in arms. They have no empirical proof. It's an allegation. It's alleged. So look at it that way, Cynthia. What they allege versus reality. Because they don't even report on what Trump is saying that is fact. Because it's for windmills. It's about windmills and solar panels. One hailstorm and the solar panels get wiped out. One conflict with a hostile force, and those windmills can get knocked down like that. Plus what they do to the wildlife. So don't believe their allegations. Let's see what's going on here. Singapore's foreign minister rules out talks with Iran to secure safe passage for ships. Singapore. Well, hey, send your tankers our way. We're going to be cutting deals right and left. Oil for sale.
The Straits of Malacca, the Straits of Singapore, is in fact another critical choke point. You may be aware that, in fact, if you add up all the maritime oil, crude and refined, you might be surprised that actually more flows through the Straits of Malacca and Singapore than even the Straits of Hormuz. If you think about global trade, container trade, there's far more flowing through this place. And the most important geographical fact, which most people are not aware of, the narrowest point in the Straits of Hormuz is 21 nautical miles. Guess what the narrowest point in the Straits of Singapore is? It's less than 2 nautical miles. So do you understand now why we have to take a categorical position that international law and UNCLOS is the constitution of the oceans, and this is a right. Freedom of navigation as a right and not a privilege for ships and planes. And this is of profound importance to Singapore. So to your specific question, Yes, I have engaged with the Iranian foreign minister before the war. And yes, I'm sure I will engage him in the near future. But as a matter of principle, and not because we're taking sides, I cannot engage in negotiations for safe passage of ships or negotiate on toll rates, because to do so would be implicitly eroding this legal principle. So again, this is another example of Singapore upholding principle, not taking sides.
A very educated and well thought out response. And why does the CNN put this up? Why do they put their own rhetoric up? And yeah, Trump is allowing expedited permitting for power plants, for data centers and factories of many different kinds to build their own power plants and even to sell excess power to the surrounding communities. And what does that do? That breaks the old world order's grip on power. They prohibit us from natural resources, rainwater, backyard chickens, home gardens, solar power. You got to go get permits now, and you got to stand in line. You got to have somebody come around with a clipboard and inspect what you're doing and pay the fees. No, well, we're going to break their grip by allowing private companies to create their own power plants. That's the way it should have been a long time ago. Here's the Wall Street Journal. What business do they have putting out this? Where do they get off putting this statement out? Iran's nuclear program has survived, giving it leverage in talks. So here we go with the left saying, Trump did all this stuff and Iran still got nuclear programs. They should have stuck with Obama's deal. Obama made a good deal. It was a deal. They have no damn idea where Iran's nuclear program is. And if somebody in the administration is putting that kind of garbage out there, they should go to jail. But the media is against Trump and anybody who is against the old world order, as we all know. I want to see if I can find that one where that reporter got mouthy. And Trump set her straight. I can't find it. There's so many things. Good gosh. Remember I told you all to watch out for Spain? Spain was a stone cold commie bunch. Here they are. This is the Spanish. Look what they did. They put up, this is how they spend their time. Okay? This, you can bet, is government workers and bureaucrats that don't have anything to do all day. And they set up a piñata or whatever you want to call it of Trump, and they put explosives in it. A bunch of lazy commies. And here's their, what do they call him, a prime minister or whatever of France? I mean, of Spain. Here's him and his wife doing an international visit. Who are they going to meet? They're in China getting tips from the CCP how to run their country. And the idiots that we just saw with cell phones watching the Trump effigy get blown up, they'll all be for it because they think they're going to be in the in crowd. The in crowd. What's this report here? What's this one? 5 illegal aliens arrested for cattle rustling. They stole 70 cows. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. And they're rustling the cows. Where'd this happen at? Let's see. Let me cut my mic off and play it. 70 cows. No wonder beef prices are so high.
5 people are in the Williamson County Jail in connection to a month-long investigation into an organized cattle theft ring.
The Williamson County Sheriff's Office says they arrested Ramon Martinez Miranda, Miguel Martinez Mons, Orleides Martinez Reyes, and Yasmina Galiz Hernandez and Raidel Martinez. They are facing felony charges for livestock theft that's valued up to $150,000.
Back in December, Florence police pulled over a truck towing a trailer that had 3 dead cattle inside. This led investigators to a bigger operation. Officials say the group was responsible for stealing and killing over 70 cattle over several months. They were stolen from Capital Land and Livestock in Schwartner.
Authorities say they are committed to holding those responsible for cattle theft, as there has been a rise of it around Central Texas.
Franco was a communist. Like I said, fascism, communism, Yazidism, it's all the same suit, different bow tie. Don't even think about it. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. Here's another one for you. Here is somebody that we should, what's the word? Diversity, yeah. Who is this? Oh, ICE just arrested a Venezuelan national, Guanipa Ramirez, who's in our country illegally. He allegedly tried to end the life of someone by slitting their throat with a kitchen knife. Democrats want him free, roaming our streets, getting taxpayer-funded benefits. You know, he might have a disability. He might be tripolar. He might, I don't know, have restless big toe syndrome or something, and he can't sleep. You all want to send him away? We should have him here to take care of him. He needs us. Here. Go to Libs of TikTok. Illegal alien crimes. More Democrat heroes. Democrats literally imported unvetted foreign criminals to invade our country and are trying to make it impossible to get them out. It's treason. Here you go. Illegal alien crimes roundup. It's been 3 weeks since the last one. They got 25 of them that are heinous. Heinous. And there's thousands more wandering around the streets. And I've already told you the HUD scam, the SNAP benefits program scam, on top of whatever they can steal. Here's another one. Who's this? No, Fox News put this. Oh, God. This is awful. This is awful. This young boy here. Look at him. And look at the creep on the right. I just don't want to die. Prosecutors say those were the 15-year-old Miles Young's final words before Honduran national Yefri Archaga Elvir allegedly chased him down and shot him. DHS says a suspect, an illegal immigrant released in the U.S. by the Obama administration, later bragged about what he did, and now ICE has lodged a detainer against him. "15 years old, he's gone." And there's thousands of other people in jeopardy of the same thing happening to them. Thousands of them. What's this one? Tom Friedman says the quiet part out loud. Oh. Are you all familiar with Tom Friedman? What quiet part is he saying? Let's see. Could be anything. There's a lot of quiet parts.
Yeah, I find myself, Michael, in a situation where I really want to see Iran defeated militarily, because this regime is a terrible regime for its people in the region, and nothing would improve the region more than the replacement of this regime with a regime in Iran that was focused on enabling its people to realize their full potential and integrating peacefully with other countries and stop occupying Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. So I'm all for that. The problem is I really don't want to see Bibi Netanyahu or Donald Trump politically strengthened by this war, because they are two awful human beings. They're both engaged in anti-democratic projects in their own countries. They're both alleged crooks. They are terrible, terrible people doing terrible things to America's standing in the world and Israel's standing in the world. And so I really find myself torn. I want to see Iran militarily defeated, but I do not want to see these two terrible people strengthened.
So he wants to see Iran militarily defeated, but he doesn't want Trump to do it or Netanyahu. Well, who the hell else is going to do it? They're the only ones for 50 damn years. Oh, I know. You can get Mom Dami over there. He'll do it. He'll take, something tells me he would hug them. He would fit right in. So, yeah, scratch him off the list. Just in, Mamdani signs order banning New Yorkers from celebrating America's 250th anniversary in Times Square. A flashy Times Square ball drop planned for America's 250th birthday is still happening, but the public won't be there to see it. Organizers confirmed Tuesday. I guess they'll make a private celebration. What in the hell? Are we so far gone? I mean, you see stuff like that, and you start to think, yeah, we're too far gone. Look at here. Somalia, and now we got Haiti. U.S. aid food being sold in a street market. As we were passing through a Haitian street market in the Dominican Republic, we noticed a bag of rice from USAID. USAID had provided hundreds of millions of dollars to aid in Haiti, and we know that this food is not used to feed the hungry, but is instead sold for profit at the expense of the U.S. taxpayer. Here's a video of it. Popcorn, get your popcorn, rice, get your rice, whatever you need. Thanks to, well, they don't thank anybody. Joe Blow working a 40-hour week.
¿A cuánto? ¿Eso qué es? Sí, ¿a cuánto? 100 pesos la libra.
Look at her. She's got probably an Obama phone there. She can swipe your credit card and take your money. 100 pesos a pound. Yeah, America been very, very good to me. So anyway, let me see what's going on in the chats. Well, no, secession, no, fish. We're not giving them one state. We're going to take it out. We're like Lincoln said, we're not giving them one. Hi, Roland, how you doing? Sissy, how you doing? Sparky, how you doing? She ate the prophet, yeah. Yeah, we're not giving them nothing. We're not giving them 1 inch of ground. Man, I tell you what, I had 140 things uploaded. And it's just, getting through them all. Look at this. Catholic nuns could face jail time for refusing to comply with blue states' gender mandates. This is in America, folks. America. Faithful fight. Catholic nuns who have spent their lives caring for dying patients. This is, I believe, a Fox News report. Caring for dying patients are now in a legal battle with New York over a law that they say violates their religious beliefs. The new law requires nursing homes and long-term care facilities to use preferred pronouns, house residents by gender identity, and allow access for S3X specific spaces. The sisters say it forces them to choose between following the law and staying true to their deep faith. Well, I got a feeling that we're going to hear some more idiocy from Ketanji Brown Jackson on the Supreme Court over this. And the more it can be held up and rubbed in people's faces, the better. My goodness. So much stuff. Anyway, I'll put up one of these posts. The Russian media and a lot of other sites were predicting that there would be like an immediate restart of the war. This is just an example of one of their posts. I got more, but I just put this one up. When Vance exits and does not answer questions about the next steps, that's when I got that clip where he said it's going to be worse for Iran than us. But this writer says, personally, I believe that Israel will initiate strikes against Iran within the next hours or days. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see who's right. What's this clip? Another black screen clip. I can't tell what it is. Let me see.
Senator, I do want to ask.
Oh, this is Senator Mark Warner. And he's being asked about what to do with Eric Swalwell. And let's see what happens with this Warner guy. I think this is the beginning of a lot of people starting to get arrested. So anyway, I'll let you listen to Senator Warner about Eric Swalwell. When everybody else is throwing Swalwell under the bus. Cole, there's a lot of arrests going on. I just showed you one where a P3DO file got arrested. Wow. Yeah, he looks ugly as hell, doesn't he? But anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I'll be going live tomorrow night. So if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. And let's see what happens. I mean, I think it's a lot of stuff going to happen, getting closer every day. So anyway, enjoy this clip. I should be going live tomorrow night. If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. Remember to hit the like button. Okay, folks, so you all have a great night. Enjoy this clip. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
To ask about allegations of against one of your fellow Democrats, Eric Swalwell, allegations of rape and sexual misconduct. He denies these allegations as false, say they never happened. You are a leader in your party. Do you think he should resign from Congress or face expulsion?
You know, Dana, I have seen the reports. I think I've met Mr. Swalwell once or twice. I want to hear his side of the story, but obviously, if any of these allegations are true, he should no longer be a candidate, at least candidate for governor. But again, I don't know any of the facts, and I'm a little old-fashioned. I feel like I ought to hear the facts before I start weighing in.